Hello and welcome to iGCSE Success. If you're new here, a big hello to you. I'm an English teacher and I post content here on YouTube to prepare students for their Cambridge First Language English exam. And if that sounds interesting to you, you can always check out the videos on my channel because I break down a number of the core skills needed to succeed with First Language English. And not to mention that we are on the road to 4,000. So it's officially the Christmas holidays for me, at least. I've got 2 weeks off school. Before I start today's video, I just wanted to say I hope if you are on your holidays, you manage to get some downtime. I know 2020 has been a difficult year for obvious reasons. I spoke to many of you during my online class. Lots of you are still learning online, and I mean it's not ideal, but just your tenacity, your fight, your desire to not give up, to continue learning, strengthening your skills, etc. Really admirable. So keep fighting, and let's just hope and pray that 2021 is going to be a lot better than this year. So let's get on with today's video, and it's all about developing your vocabulary. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around for the whole video and let's get started. Okay, let's get this short lesson, I guess, started. I just wanted to say, first of all, it really is no secret that having a wide range of vocabulary is something that we should all endeavour to have within, I guess, our writer's toolbox. There are marks allocated to vocabulary for both paper 1, paper 2, and of course the coursework component if you are doing that alongside paper 1. Now, certainly a question I often get from my students and indeed on my YouTube channel, particularly those who aren't the most voracious readers, is how do I improve my vocabulary in time for my exams? Now, it's doable, but students often fall into this trap, I guess, of opening up a thesaurus and finding, I guess, what they perceive to be the most impressive sounding word. However, too often such an approach results in the wrong word being used incorrectly. So in other words, it being used in completely the wrong context. If you are short on time and you don't have time to read a slew of novels, or if reading just for whatever reason isn't your thing, my first tip is to make sure you have read a wealth of the short stories used in paper 1. These stories are usually easy to digest, quick to read, and have a number of ambitious word choices used for effect. And words that you can use in your descriptive writing, in your narrative writing, and indeed for your coursework pieces. Don't just gloss over these words. Highlight them, define them, and see if you can write your own sentences using these words. And what you'll find that within a short space of time, you'll build up your repertoire, and there's no reason why you can't use these words in, as I've said, all of your writing where marks are allocated to writing. So let's take a look at the process you should be going through. Okay, so what you're looking at now is a 2020 paper, and you want to make sure that you take an active approach to developing your vocabulary. As mentioned before, you don't want to simply be glossing over any unfamiliar words, which I'm sure we are all guilty of doing. Highlight them, check what they mean, and then write your own sentences. Always build up a glossary. You'll usually find a few unfamiliar words in each fiction piece. And remember, these are short stories, so there's no reason why you can't use these words in your own pieces. So let's try and skim read this and let's try and find 3 examples of effective word choices. Now, looking here, we've got this adjective decrepit. So let's just highlight that. Decrepit is our first one. And then within the same paragraph, we've got the adverb ominously. And let's just have a little look further down, see if we can find any more. And finally, let's go with that verb slogging, when you are slogging through soft sand. Now, you may be watching this video and you may be someone who knows what decrepit, ominously and slogging means. That's absolutely okay, but I'm showing you the process that you should be going through to develop your vocabulary. But let's just assume that you do not know what these words mean. So once you have your words written down or typed up somewhere, the next thing that you want to do is, of course, define these words. If you have a dictionary to hand, of course, use that. But of course, we've all got access to the internet. There's no reason why you cannot go onto dictionary.com. So let's start with the first word, decrepit. And then you'll have the definition on your screen. Decrepit, which is an adjective and can mean a weak, something weakened by old age, something which is feeble, infirm, or something which is worn out by long use or is dilapidated. And also it gives 2 example sentences. The first one being a decrepit man who can hardly walk. The second one, a decrepit stove. So you want to repeat this process for any words that you come across which are perhaps unfamiliar to you, and you want to start building up a glossary. So I would copy and paste the definition and the example sentences, or write them down, and then it's time for the next step, which of course is the most important, and that is being able to use the word within your own sentence. So as you can see, I've created a little glossary for my 3 new words, decrepit, ominously, and slogging. I've defined them, and underneath the definitions, I've also created my own 3 sentences, and they are: the decrepit mansion was due to be demolished. The dark clouds hung ominously above their house. We began reluctantly slogging through the jungle. And if you get into the habit of going through this process, then this is a really effective way to develop your vocabulary and to give you a bank of words which you can use for your pieces where marks are allocated to writing. So that is my first tip. Read a wealth of fiction text from past papers, underline unfamiliar words, define them, and then write your own example sentences. My second tip is to subscribe to the many websites which offer a word of the day, and I'm going to show you a website now. Now, my favourite website which offers a word of the day is Merriam website. I know there are other websites as well, dictionary.com for example, but I just like how easy it is to use Merriam Webster. All the words are below, and you can use these arrow keys as well, which I think is really cool, just to see all of the different words of the day with their definitions. So the word of the day for December the 20th is presage, and you can click on the audio button and it will pronounce the word for you. And if you click on the word, it gives a really straightforward definition, which I like. So the verb presage is to give an omen or a warning, to foreshadow essentially. And then you have some example sentences if you scroll down. So the sudden gloom and ominous dark clouds clearly presaged a nasty storm. So again, there's no reason why you can't use the word of the days from these websites and then write your own sentences. And that way you are far more likely to remember these words and develop your vocabulary, because that's what we all want to do, right? Now, my last tip is to use Vocabularycom. This is an amazing website. It's free. You do have to sign up. But there are a ton of games, a ton of activities. You can play against people online. You can learn new words, and it's all free. So let's take a quick look. So once you've signed up to Vocabulary.com, your page should look something like this. Top left is the challenge, and there are a bunch of questions to develop your vocabulary. As mentioned, you can join the Vocabulary Jam where you play against real people. There's this quick list, the bottom right hand corner, which I really like. And you can enter words which you want to try and learn the definition, and you want to try and be able to use them within a variety of different contexts. But it's really, really easy to use. And I definitely recommend this website if you're wanting to develop your vocabulary. And that's all for today, guys. Do have a lovely Christmas. Do have a lovely New Year. And I will see you again in 2021. Until next time. Bye-bye.